So what's up, people, and welcome to the Chapter 38 discussion of Kaiju 8, or Monster Number 8. So Chapter 38 came out a few days ago, and as always, I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, go take a look at it. So, Chapter 38 turns out to be like a follow-up chapter to all the chapters that we had before regarding this recent event. And of course, in Chapter 37, we saw that Kafka turned into a much more powerful monster, but in turn lost control of his monster form. And so the monster was beating up on Commander Shinomiya pretty hard, and it was only at the end of Chapter 37 that we saw Kafka finally regain his control over the body again and stop attacking Commander Shinomiya. And that's where we start off in Chapter 38, where we find out that Kafka has now lost his conscience, but Commander Shinomiya has got the answer that he wanted to find out, which was, can we really trust that Kafka can keep control of his monster form? And it was a good thing that he did too, because of the fact that we find out that even though Commander Shinomiya was down, the majority of the other JDF soldiers were ready to eliminate Kafka if he didn't get control of his body right away. And we are introduced to a new character named Gennarumi, who turns out to be the commander of the 1st Division. If you recall, Mina was the commander of the 3rd Division. So this gentleman seems to be extremely powerful as well. And we probably will learn more about him as we go along. Now, his initial personality seems like he's one of those really powerful people that goes straight by the book to some extent, right? He's like Arima, for example, in Tokyo Ghoul. And the other thing is that if there is a leader of the 1st Division and Mina is the leader of the 3rd Division, then there probably is a leader of the 2nd Division that we haven't met yet. And if the 1st Division leader is straight by the book, and if Mina is the 3rd Division leader, then a lot of times the 2nd Division leader may end up being a very chaotic sort of person, just to round out the entire personality sort of side. So it'll be interesting to see what Gennarumi is like, and who is the leader of the 2nd Division. But in any case, with the answer that Commander Shinomiya got, he kind of does a 180-degree turnaround and starts asking the rest of the staff of the JDF to hold back on the execution of Kafka, and instead he wants to work with Kafka to weaponize him as an asset to the JDF. Now, because a lot of the other staff members think this is too risky, with Kafka potentially becoming an out-of-control monster, they kind of push back on this. But this is when we find out that there was a terrible incident in the past with Monster Number 6, which led to the destruction of a good majority of the JDF, and it was at that time that Commander Shinomiya lost his wife. And so we can understand why there is a personal vendetta that Commander Shinomiya is going against the monsters. And it will be interesting to see how this moves along. But in any case, Commander Shinomiya at this time is telling the rest of the JDF they don't have the luxury to be able to make those by-the-book sort of decisions. They have to take every advantage that they got because the new humanoid monsters are becoming more and more powerful. And with that, it sounds like he was able to convince the rest of the JDF staff to hold off, because we now see him standing in front of Kafka, who has finally regained consciousness in the hospital, and he is surprised to see Commander Shinomiya there. Now, this is interesting because Commander Shinomiya thinks that he is surprised because he is afraid that something's going to happen to him. But of course, the first thing Kafka says is that he is very, very happy that he didn't lose the monster body so much out of control that it costed Commander Shinomiya his life. And that, of course, re-enhances what Commander Shinomiya feels about Kafka now. And so it'll be interesting to see how this moves forward. We see interesting part at the very end of the chapter that will probably move forward to being one of the story arcs in the future. But it'll be interesting to see in the next few chapters how this moves along. Will there be a time skip? I don't think so. I got a feeling that they're actually going to show the training that Commander Shinomiya will give to Kafka to make him stronger as we go along. But in any case, this was a very interesting chapter to somewhat close out this past arc. And it will be interesting to see how things move forward because things are changing at a rapid manner. But in any case, that is the 38th chapter discussion of Monster Number 8. And when the next chapter comes out, I will bring up another video. I hope you join me at that time. So thank you very much for listening. And until the next episode, happy manga reading. And as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.